Friday, Jose on our weekly gluten-free training, how to go gluten-free workshop. So guys, we're streaming on I got my new iPhone. I got a new iPhone. So we're using the iPhone 8 Pro. And so now we're streaming on our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So you can watch the replays on those. Welcome everybody to the weekly training. I'm gonna set something up. All right, so my name's Jose. I've been gluten-free for over a decade, and my channel is about going gluten-free, living gluten-free, and vegan. So every week I do how to go gluten-free workshop because it's very difficult in America. There's lots of pitfalls. So I'm here to help you guys on your journey. If you're embarking on a new journey, if you're embarking on gluten-free, if you want to embark on gluten-free, this is my channel. I show you everything I eat, even my Instagram. Follow the Instagram. Follow the IG, because on the Instagram, I basically take pictures of my food and then I just post it. Like, yeah, follow the Instagram. And I try to put the recipes there so you guys can. And these are basic recipes, nothing fancy, nothing special, just food that I eat daily to keep me youthful at 51. So look at. So follow the gram, and then you can like I try to make the post so you can actually try to make it, like I describe it. A lot of times I put the recipe. I did this one with a pesto, walnut pesto. Oh, look, I made enchiladas. So follow the gram. Again, everything I eat is gluten-free, vegan, and I just post what I eat. I don't like make food and not eat it. So this is like real food that you can make every day, and simple, basic food. And I'm 51. I've been gluten-free for over a decade, and let's talk about what gluten is. So gluten is a protein found in cereal grains. And when a certain amount of people in this world eat gluten, we eat it, it makes us fucking sick. Like sick as fuck. We get like constipation, diarrhea, joint pain, skin issues, big time skin issues, brain fog, always sleepy, always sleepy. Yawn and burping. As a matter of fact, one thing I discovered on my gluten-free journey was that gluten is actually linked to over 300 issues, all the way from like seizures to Alzheimer's. Now, guys, I didn't do these studies. You can Google the same stuff I did. I'm just here to share with you how to go gluten-free if you want to embark on this journey. Also, guys, if you have an autoimmune disorder, a lot of people say there's a direct connection to gluten. So if you know someone with autoimmune disorder, gluten-free is the way to go. I actually did a podcast with one of my followers. You can actually watch the podcast. Link is in the bio. She had Hashimoto's. She developed Hashimoto's at age 21 or 22. And her doctor was like, do you know that people who have Hashimoto's have probability of gluten issue? So she went gluten-free, saved herself. So check out the podcast. Do a little research. Again, I'm only here to share with you what I've learned over my decade-long being gluten-free, and hopefully it can help you guys. I'm just here to share with you some knowledge. You guys do your own research. If you feel like you want to do it, come back here and I show you how to go gluten-free. Joint pain and sleepiness is my issue, and I am carb and gluten-free. Emily, you're carb and gluten-free? Emily, you're probably still ingesting some trace amounts of gluten. That would be my guess, Emily. And I'm going to show you all these little hidden sources of gluten. Hidden sources that people aren't aware of if you're embarking on a gluten-free journey. We'll jump into it, but let's talk about, I have an autoimmune. JL, you do? Try gluten-free. Hey there, hey guys. Thanks for joining us. Good morning, Chef Herrera. How are you doing today? Good morning. Happy Friday. Thank you, Francis. So, let's talk about why we avoid it. Now, we know about the symptoms. We know about the brain fog, the headaches, the migraines, the joint pain, the constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, like always irritated, anxiety, warm, anxious. I used to have a brown film on my tongue. And no matter what I did, I would brush my teeth, mouthwash, the works, nothing. And my girlfriend would be like, bro, did you brush your teeth? I'd be like, yeah, I brushed them right in front of her. And nothing helped. And I was like, what the fuck? So once I gave up gluten, all that went away. All those issues went away. Great. No more burping, no more gas. So it's wonderful. So because of all those issues, there's certain people that avoid it. Now, most of you guys that are watching me, most of you guys watching right now, you guys can eat bread, pasta, cookies. You can literally eat it and nothing happens to your body. Like you don't get tired. You don't start yawning. You don't start burping. You don't start getting bloated. You're fine. You're fine. You're like normal. And that's great. Congratulations. Again, I just do this for the small percent of people. There's a small percent of us that it fucks us up. And one more thing I'm going to add. It's happening. I'm starting to see it like a trend now that I want to talk about. It's called glyphosate. A lot of people are starting to say the issue of sensitivity. You don't even need to have the celiac disease gene. The gene, you don't have to have it. You can still ingest gluten and be sick. It's called non-celiac gluten sensitivity. And that's also medically recognized. Non-celiac gluten sensitivity. Basically, that means if you eat bread or pasta, you get tired, you get a little bloat, nothing major. It's not the autoimmune reaction that people with celiac have. So, a cake tongue means infection in your body also. Oh, yeah, I'm sure it does. I mean, because I would always Google, like, what the fuck is wrong with my tongue? Anyway, so, so we avoided, I forgot where we were at. So let's just jump into training today. We're going to discuss, we already talked about what it is, what are the symptoms, and why we avoid it. So most of you guys can eat it, no problem. I'm only here to help the people who have an issue. If you want to embark on a journey of gluten-free, if you think you have joint pain, you're always sleepy, you're always tired, and you think that might be you, try it. That changed my life. As a matter of fact, let me share with you my story. I was, as a child, I was always sick. Literally, my whole life, I was chronically ill. My whole life, I was chronically ill. So I went to Mexico at 7 months old, and I lived there until I was 4.5 years old. But during my time there, I saw tons of specialists, and not specialists. I saw one specialist in Mexico City, but I saw a lot of doctors, a lot of DRs, and to no avail. Like nothing helped. I took tons of medications, tons, all different kinds. Then I came back to the States, saw more doctors, and because I used to have trouble swallowing. Not only did I have joint pain, knee pain, not only was I always sleepy, not only did I always have side pain, not only was I always bloated, not only was I always tired, I had blurry vision sometimes. I had trouble hearing, concentrating. I was always warm. I was always hot. I was throwing up, diarrhea, constipation. Just a wreck. Like my whole life was a wreck. And so I come back to the States and I had trouble swallowing as well because, again, gluten affects your thyroid and your swallowing right here. Remember that, guys. If you have an issue with thyroid, look into gluten-free. Look into it. Do a little research and come back here. So they take my tonsils out. It still didn't help. And then my dad was like, you know what? Because he was paying all the bills. He's like, bro, you've seen so many doctors in Mexico. You've seen tons of doctors here. No mas. I don't know what to tell you, my son. You're just gonna have to live with it. And because they couldn't fix me. So I literally was sick my whole life, like just always sick, always warm, throwing up all the time. Just always tired. I was always tired. Did I tell you I was always tired? Like I was always tired. Like I was always sleeping. Like always sleeping. Like I was always sleeping. Like I would wake up, go to sleep on the ride to school. I would sleep in school. I would eat lunch, sleep after lunch. I would sleep on the ride home. I'd get home, I'd sleep at home. Eat dinner, go back to sleep. Then I'd wake up, go back to school, repeat the cycle. It was crazy. It was crazy. And so I was able to kind of manage my chronic illness as I got older. It kind of like my body was not able to, but my body was like found its homeostasis with the gluten. I was kind of able to like manage it, if you will. And one day I was working at Gino's East Pizza, and this guy came out. He's like, "Have you tried the gluten-free pizza?" I said, "I don't know what the fuck gluten-free is." And he told me what it was, and he told me about his friend, and he started talking about these symptoms. And I was like, "What the fuck? That 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 sounds like me." And to this, and right now, I just recently discovered this, but this man, because he had a friend. Now, if you have an issue with gluten, you emit these known issues like yawning, burping, tired, watery eyes. So when he saw me, I know now that he was trying to help me. Like he literally helped me. That man changed my life. That man changed my life forever. And that's the reason I started Beyond Food Market. Because I changed my life, so I'm looking to help you guys. So this man was like, he told me about his friend. I was like, yeah. And he told me, and I went home and I Googled it. It's like 10 signs you could be having an issue with gluten. I'm like, brain fog, yeah, headaches, migraines, skin issues, joint pain, tired, lethargic. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, this is all me. And at the bottom of the article, it's like, hey, bro, if you think this is you, stop eating gluten for fucking 30 days and see how you feel. And I was like, I'm like, I don't have to go to a specialist or anything. I don't have to go see a doctor. They're like, bro, just stop eating it. And I was like, fuck it, because guys, mind you, I was on a 90-pound weight loss. I lost 90 pounds. I dropped 90 pounds. So when this guy told me his friend lost 5 pounds in 1 week, I was like, bro, your friend lost 5 pounds in 1 week. Say less. And I was already hooked when he said that, because I was trying to lose. At this time, I was halfway on my weight loss journey. I probably dropped maybe 40 pounds at this time. And so I was still looking to lose weight. So, yeah, I went home and I Googled it, looked at all the signs. I was like, holy fuck, this is me. I think this is me. And sure enough, one day, let me show you how I used to look. That's how I used to look like. Good for you. Thank you, man. God bless you for educating all of us. Yeah, it's my journey. If you don't like what he's saying, leave, because he's our friend. Oh, you know what, guys? If people put hate on it, you know what? Don't worry about it. That's how I look now. Mars boy. Yeah, bro, you can change your life. And here's one thing that I want to share with you. I'm Mexican. I'm indigenous. And I want to share with you, if you have brown skin, now, global population, celiac disease affects 2%. They say through Google. I don't fucking know. I think it's more. And then they say another 7% with a sensitivity. Now, with that said, I believe if you have brown skin, or Mexican, or indigenous, or native, it's higher for us. And here's why. Spain introduced wheat flour, gluten, aka gluten, into Mesoamerica. And the barley, the rye, the oats, that's from Europe. That's from Europe, guys. That's from Europe. So what I'm saying, if you're indigenous or Mexican, check out your family. Are they always burping? Or do you know people who are always tired, always burping, have bumps on the back of their arm? These are known symptoms. Now, it doesn't mean they have an issue with gluten, but I'm saying these are the known signs. And if you have brown skin, I think it affects us more because Spain introduced it. And guys, just so you know, we have the most pyramids in all the world in Mexico. And all the fucking history books say we had these great civilizations, right? I didn't write the books. So all without wheat. This all happened without gluten. So my theory, my belief is that if you're indigenous, try to eat some of our indigenous grains like polenta or amaranth. Electra, you're Puerto Rican? Yeah. Well, I think any brown, if you're brown, like I truly believe, if you got brown skin, I truly believe it. I really do. But again, guys, that's just my belief now, because I've been gluten-free for over a decade, going on 14 years. And this is what I'm starting to discover. And Fun fact: I'm in Chicago, and we have a large Mexican community in Chicago. Probably, I just recently discovered. I used to think we were the second largest in America, but come to find out, we're not. We're like number 5 for Mexican community, but it's pretty large. And I was talking to a community leader, and he was saying how type 2 diabetes is the number one killer in the Mexican community above heart disease. I was like, wait, are you serious? I didn't even fucking research it. I just took his word for it. Anyway, but he told me that. I thought that was interesting. And then what I discovered is that the indigenous, like the natives, like the Indian natives, that there's people saying that wheat, the flour, is a leading factor of the type 2 diabetic epidemic in the indigenous culture. So I truly believe there's a link to there. I really do. So my belief is that if you were indigenous or Mexican, try to eliminate wheat. See how you feel. No bread. It's a lot more than that. We're gonna get into it right now. So that's pretty much my story, my belief on that. Let's get into gluten-free training. You can watch the replay of this on our Instagram and our IG. So let's get to it. Indian, Espanol, and African. Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, you know what? Guess what? Chris. African. Dude, I literally was listening to this guy, this doctor. Dr. Glidden? Dr. Glidden? And he was, let me see if that's his name. Because you got it. Dr. Glidden. I think that's his name. Anyway, he was doing Dr. Peter Glidden. Dr. Peter Glidden. You can Google him. You can YouTube him. Dr. Peter Glidden. He was saying how 80% of African Americans have an issue with gluten. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, that's why I started believing that Mexicans too. I think he might have said that too. I don't know. I gotta watch that video again. But that's my belief. So take that for what it's worth. Dr. Glidden. No, Dr. Glidden. Glidden. Dr. Peter Glidden. And he's a big proponent on anti-grains. That's how I came across him. I mean, he's got some extreme thoughts that some people probably don't, I don't know. But here's a go. Let's see. Let's see if he talks about it. All right, so this is the guy. So this is the guy.
Dr. Glidden here. Thanks for logging on this lecture, Good Food, Bad Food. Specifically talking today about the problem with gluten and why that's bad from the naturopath medical perspective.
So check him out if you want to know more about it, but he gives out some great information. So let's get to it. So now that we know what it is, how it fucks people up, let's talk about where you're going to find this mostly. You're going to find it in breads, you're going to find it in cookies, in baked goods, in soups, in things that are thickening, like you can find it in soy sauce, ketchup, and it's used as a thickener, as an emulsifier. So you'll typically find it in like the pasta, any kind of grain, a lot of grains, they have it, barley, rye, oats, and wheat. And in America, if you're celiac, oats are thrown in there because they don't necessarily have the gluten protein, but in America, a lot of the oats are grown with wheat, so that kind of disqualifies them from being gluten-free because of the cross contact, a high probability. As a matter of fact, guys, if you are going gluten-free, this is the biggest secret nobody talks about. I'm about to let you in on it. Oats in America, I want you to do your own research too. Oats in America aren't really gluten-free. Gluten-free oats aren't really gluten-free. Mike, do you have any? These aren't really gluten-free. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. It's a pretty long story. So in America, we have the FDA. And the FDA says that to be labeled gluten-free, to get a gluten-free label on your package, you've got to meet a standard, a recommended standard, a set standard of 20 parts per million of gluten. That means they allow gluten in your product, or you can even put gluten in a product and still call it gluten-free. Now, the standard for the FDA is 20 parts per million. So this product may include gluten up to 20 parts per million or less, right here. So if you have an issue with gluten, oats have a high probability of being contaminated. And I encourage everyone, oats are off limits, really. I encourage everyone to not consume it, just off limits, because it's contaminated. And one more thing. Oats, it's got its own fucking protein. It's got its own protein. Avenin, or avenin, however you want to say it. Avenin. That can trigger a similar response to people with celiac disease or a gluten issue. So you can eat this, even if I grew this in my backyard with no wheat, and I plucked it out myself, and I did whatever and made it like this, and I ate it, and it was perfectly pure, clean, I could still get a reaction because of the avenin in here. So keep that in mind if you really love oats. Now, one more thing, if you can tolerate the avenin, if you can tolerate that, what I would recommend is something called Purity Protocol oats. Now, you guys are probably thinking about certified. There's something called certified. Let me show you. Let me talk about the labels. It's FDA, 20 parts per million, and they got certified products, 10 parts per million. 10 parts per million. Then they got Purity Protocol, 5 parts per million. That means it's less. Now, guys, mind you, all the stuff that I've told you, they only have a little bit of gluten. Do you hear that? Hear me out. 20 parts per million means there's only a little bit of gluten. Certified means there's less gluten. Purity Protocol means there's almost no gluten. Do you hear that? There's still gluten in there. There's still gluten in there. There's still, for the people in the back row, there's still gluten in these products. There's just only a little bit. There's only a little bit. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't have a little bit of gluten. I can't have no gluten because it fucks me up. So I'll keep that in mind when you're going gluten-free. Oats, Google it. I want you to do your own research, cross-contact. As a matter of fact, I've come across this website that tested 20 fucking brands, 30 brands. Dude, 75% of them were above the standard. Past certified. Past 20 parts. Above. Not to mention, they didn't even talk about the products that met the standard and still had gluten in it. You know what I mean? You can meet the standard and be gluten-free. So keep that in mind, guys. Very important. Highly encourage you guys to not have the oats. But if you've got your heart set on it, if you really have your heart set on oats, try Purity Protocol. Just Google it. There's a lot of companies that sell Purity Protocol. Purity Protocol just means that the oats are planted in beautiful ground with no wheat, harvested with no wheat-containing equipment, processed with no wheat-containing facility, and packaged in a wheat-free, gluten-free area. So they just literally eliminated wheat from the whole process, from the time of planting to here, to your house. Now, again, this has avenin, has aminin. Remember that. When you try gluten-free oats and you start yawning, and you start getting tired, and you start getting sleepy, I want you to remember me, and I want you to remember me telling you about the oats. Oh, one more thing. If you have known celiac disease and you eat gluten-free oats and you seem to be okay, I would say to you that you may be asymptomatic, meaning you're not having any outwardly symptoms. But if you are literally diagnosed with celiac disease, I want you to know it's damaging you inside. It's damaging you. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I know people that don't give a fuck. Do you know that? I know people that don't care. They literally like, it's all right. I can have a little bit of gluten. I'm like, no, like what the fuck, dude? Listen, guys. If you really want to go gluten free, you can't have it a little bit. You can't have trace amounts. You got to be 100% free of gluten, like zero. I just recently got over my trace contamination. I got trace gluten. Trace gluten means when I had a product that had a trace amount, it just got snuck past me, and fuck it. But I just got over it, guys. You you can't do it. You got to be, because you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be tired. Don't do that to yourself. Don't. If you have celiac disease and you're not 100% diligent, you're hurting yourself. You are hurting yourself. Don't do that. That's not cool. It's 100% all or nothing. When I was young, when I first went gluten free, I remember. I'm like, because I thought I could cheat. I thought I could have a little bit of gluten. So I was like, my sister was a baker, so I'm like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try some of this. And I tried it, and I was like, oh fuck, I got fucked up. I'm like, that's not cool. And then I tried it again, and I was like, I got fucked up. And then I tried it again, and I was like, fuck this, no mas, because what happened is I learned that I had to recover. I'm like, wait a minute, I can't cheat on this because now I have to heal. I have to heal. Like, bam, I got sick. Because what happens when you eat gluten, for people with celiac or a sensitivity, you damage a lot of shit in your body. For the celiac, we damage the villi in our small intestine. And why is that important? Because the fucking small intestine and the villi, or the villi, it grabs nutrients of the food as it's coming into our stomach, into the small intestine. We grab the nutrients with the villi. Now, when you eat gluten, the fucking villi dies off or gets damaged or whatever the fuck happens, and then you can't absorb nutrients. And that's why anemia is a known issue with gluten. If you have an issue with gluten, if you have anemia, you may have an issue with gluten. Ladies out there, low iron, irritable bowel syndrome, always tired, always fatigued. Look into that, ladies. People are always talking about, I see on these channels, all these platforms, everybody's talking about, if you're bloated, try this tea, try this herb. This is what I did to cure my bloat. Guys, if you stop eating gluten, you stop getting bloated. You just stop getting bloated. It's amazing. It's amazing. I just stopped eating food that made me bloated. Now, I used to be bloated my whole life. My whole life I was bloated. My whole life I was puffy. I was puffy. Puffy. Not just, like, I was like, how come I can't get leaned out? Like, why can't I lean out? I was like, why can't I lean out? Why can't I lean out, you know? Because I was always puffy. Like, I was always, like, somebody blew a balloon. I was like, so, yeah. What up, does it best? Good morning, Sunflower. It's horrible. Isn't it horrible, Sunflower? I'm giving you a follow. Oh, I'm following you already. I don't like gluten-free baked goods. You know what? Guys, let's talk about gluten-free now. Gluten-free baked goods. We already talked about what it is, where it's found, how to avoid it. Now let's talk about gluten-free baked goods. Now, because you're embarking on the gluten-free journey, you're going to try gluten-free baked goods, right? Really quick before I talk about that, people always ask me, is it expensive to eat gluten-free? Is it expensive? Two answers. It can be if you buy all this shit. If you want to buy all that, yeah, it's expensive. However, I live on the south side of Chicago. And I live on a budget. So it doesn't have to be expensive. And let me explain really quick why. All of these things, they're made with other grains or other ingredients. This is African grain. It's called teft. This package, I don't know, $6 maybe? Let's see. Let's find out how much this costs. Okay, $8. $8. $8. Now, we all know we can go buy a bag of teft flour. Well, not everybody because it's African grain. But I'm sure African grain teft is a lot cheaper than $8. You can buy $8 box. Or you can buy a bag of teft for $8. Like, there, I have one with beans. Like, look at this one. This is better. Soybeans. So this soybeans is teft. So you can go buy the soybeans, or you can buy the teft flour and just make your own teft bread, or just eat these raw. You don't need to buy them. So that's my point. You have to pay for people to make this out of these simple ingredients. There's lentils. This is made with chickpeas. Ingredients, chickpea flour. You can go buy this, or you can just fucking buy a can of chickpeas. Or you can make your own chickpea flour. Don't you just get the dried chickpeas and grind them up? And you can make chickpea scrambled eggs. So those are the other options. You don't need this. This I use as just something I want to try. Like maybe I want some fucking spaghetti and meatballs to remind me when I was a kid sitting at the table in my basement eating with my family. Maybe I want that. And that's probably why I would get that. Now, I don't eat these every day. I literally try to eat like vegetables, peas, lentils, like that. So, because this costs money. Oh, and one more thing, guys. If you're gonna go out and start buying this stuff, so that's all I have to say for is it expensive. Let's move on. So let's talk about label reading. The next step that's super important is how to read the fucking label. This is the most important fucking step. The most. And you're like, Jose, what about the app? Can I get the app? Well, you can. And that might help a little bit. But I don't know of any app that has every freaking product in the world. I don't know of any app that has every product in America. And one more thing. Remember, in America, the app will tell you it's gluten-free because it met the FDA standard of being gluten-free. However, that doesn't mean this product is free of gluten. So the app's going to be like, yeah, it's gluten-free. And you're like, Jose, the app said it was gluten-free. Why am I sick? Because there's still gluten in your product. And let me show you how to read the label to make sure. Now, this is how you read the label. I think this is the most important thing of this whole session, I think, if you're going gluten-free, how to read a label. So the first thing that I look for is this. A label. That is, all right, there's two labels. Let me talk about these labels. That's gluten-free. Okay. This is from the New England Australia Celiac Association label. For a company for your product to get, this is the gold standard, guys. Remember, this is the gold standard. When you see this, I want you to know you're probably 98% sure you can eat it. Now, the other 2% are the ingredients. Sometimes these ingredients are iffy or just suspicious. So keep that in mind. Just because it means gluten-free doesn't mean it's perfectly safe. So guys, this one, when you see this, I want you to realize you're probably 50% sure you can eat it, because in America, to get that label, you can have gluten in your product, guys. Oh yeah. Let me show you this example right here. Let me flip this around. Okay, so look at this. See this almond paste? Do you guys see that? It says gluten-free. Sarah, what's for breakfast? A smoothie, Sarah. Smoothie. See, it says gluten-free. Now watch. Take a screenshot. I'll read it out loud to everybody. Almond paste contains, listen carefully, almond paste contains less than 20 parts per million of gluten. Do you hear that? They're telling you it has gluten in it. They're telling you. Pursuant to FDA regulations, products containing less than 20 parts per million are gluten-free. Now, listen carefully. There's something called gluten-free and free of gluten. Those are two different things, guys. Remember that. Those are two different things. Gluten-free, free of gluten. Two different things. So when you see gluten-free, it doesn't necessarily mean free of gluten. That's the biggest tip I'm going to tell you guys if you're going gluten-free. So now, that's the first thing I look at. That's the first thing I look at for reading the label. Let's continue. Let's continue how to read a label. First thing, boom. Okay? Flip it over. Why did I flip it over? Because just because it has a fucking label doesn't mean I can eat it. So the first thing I look for is barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Those are the main contaminants in America. Barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Think of your eyebrow. Barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Your eyebrow. Barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Okay? First thing, you can't. Guys, I throw in oats in there because I highly encourage you to not eat oats for the first 30 days. In America, they have a high probability of being contaminated or cross contact with wheat. Guys, please, I encourage you. If you see a product that says gluten-free and you flip it over and has oats on it, I want you to put it down and walk away. Because I'm going to save you. I'm going to save you from getting sick. But I know there's some of you guys out there that are going to try it. I wish you the best. Okay, so let's get back to this. So that's the first thing I look for, the barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Now the next step is to look for the derivatives. Derivatives, yes, derivative, you heard right. Now in this example, let's go back to this example. This says it contains glucose syrup. Okay, look. Glucose syrup from wheat. From wheat. Wheat. There's wheat in there. Okay? There's wheat. But it's not called gluten. It's not called anything that you would recognize. It's called glucose syrup. Do you hear that? Glucose syrup. If you're new to gluten and somebody says, here's some glucose syrup, you're like, okay, because it doesn't have gluten, right? But guess what? It does. And you know why? Because glucose syrup in America can be made from lots of shit. Wheat, corn, soy. I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist. Maybe more stuff. But my point is they give it different names. So that's the next thing I have to look for. So once you go there, it's called dextrose, maltodextrin, natural flavor, hydrolyzed wheat protein, hydrolyzed starch. You're probably like, what the fuck, Jose? It doesn't say anything about gluten. Why do they have all these different names? That's the thing. That's the tough part. That's the tricky part, guys. That's the tough part. Because you got to go Google all these different names. You got to when I first went gluten free, I would eat stuff because it was gluten free, and I would get sick. I'm like, how the fuck am I getting sick if it's gluten free? How am I going to say it's gluten free? And then I would start Googling every item. And then I came across dextrose was the first one I ever came across. And it's like, yeah, it can be made from wheat. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? From wheat? And you know what? In America, guess what? Once a company gets wheat and they process it and they do what they do, they sprinkle a little magic dust on it and they spit out glucose syrup. Once they spit out glucose syrup, nobody in America recognizes that as having gluten. Nobody, because it's now gluten free. It's now gluten free. But guys, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. There's still gluten in there, guys. Do your own research. I want you to realize it, because you're gonna get sick. So, natural flavor is allowed to hide countless toxins they don't have to list. Yeah, exactly, guys. Exactly. So, guys, guys, they don't have to disclose that it's derived from wheat. They don't have to. That company, this company, the great company, because they disclosed it. They put an asterisk. They put it in red. They want you to fucking know. But there's companies you don't have to. Why? Because it's labeled gluten-free. So it's boom, it's set. It's gluten-free. But it's not free of gluten. So so that's the next step. So now you got to look at the first four, the barley, rye, oats, and wheat. The next thing, the derivatives. Now, derivatives are countless. These derivatives are important to know because they have trace amounts of gluten. Trace amounts. And if you have an issue with celiac, you cannot have anything. Zero. And if you have celiac and you're still consuming and you're not really careful, you don't really care, you're hurting yourself. Don't fucking hurt yourself. You deserve better. You deserve to have energy and not feel tired. You deserve it. Fucking do it. Be diligent. Be diligent. You need it. You need to do it. All right, so now the next step, I go through all these different things that may contain. You know, my nephew has some products here. No, he doesn't. I don't know. All right, and now here's the last and final thing. The last three things I look at. So we looked at the major four, then we look at the derivatives. Now we look, where was this thing made? Where was this manufactured? I gotta know where it was made. Now the next thing is gonna be like allergy, like made in the same facility. Was this made in the same facility? Sometimes they'll say made in the same facility that processes wheat. What? So you're telling me your product is gluten-free, has some suspicious ingredients, and now you're telling me this product is also made in a factory that processes wheat? Put that down. Put it down. What up, Tina Russo? Susan Davis, thanks for the share. Hey, Shelly Marie, how are you? Can you consume alcohol on a gluten-free diet? You can't consume alcohol on a gluten-free diet if the alcohol is gluten-free, like tequila or vodka with potato. Now, guys, wine is iffy because yeast. I know sometimes they use yeast and like the wine and the yeast thing and the cork thing. It's a mess. I don't know. Do your own research. I don't drink any alcohol, zero alcohol. If I do, it's tequila. Also, beer is made from barley and rye. They have oats. So get yourself a gluten-free beer. There's a lot out there now, maybe like 2 or 3, not a lot. But I used to drink one, Apple Orchard, apple cider, I don't know. Has like an apple tree on it. Guys, comment below what's your favorite alcohol that's gluten free. So alcohol does consume gluten. So if you have an issue with gluten or celiac and you're consuming that, you're gonna get fucking little headaches and get tired and bloated, guys. Don't do that to yourself. Hey Wendy, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Gluten free beers are good. Angry Orchard is so good. Okay, thank you. Angry Orchard, thank you. So that's it for the alcohol. Beer, and yeah, also beer has yeast. Brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast. So that's definitely a no-go. Right? Is it the brewer's yeast? Is it the brewer's yeast or the baker's yeast? Anyway, it has gluten. Don't eat it. I have to push myself to the gym, but mainly the most. Sarah, you push yourself to the gym? Yeah. You know, guys, I'm telling you, watch your diet. If you really, truly go gluten-free, you're going to watch your energy levels skyrocket. Like, literally skyrocket. Guys, just do more research on grains. Like, I know a lot of people say grains are good for you, and a lot of research that says it's good for you, but there's also research that says have a lot of issues. They're inflammatory. And just one more thing, I was watching a documentary, and this dude, it's called Cowspiracy. You can watch the same documentary, Cowspiracy. He was saying there's 5 families or 5 companies that control 80% of grains in America. 80% of grains in America. So yeah. All right. So now the last thing I look for now, the last thing is if there's any last things like made on shared equipment. So it can be made in the same facility and shared equipment. Those are the last 2 things. So that's how you read a label. First, barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Then look for the derivatives. Then look for cross-contamination from the same facility or made on the same equipment. And that, my friends, is how you do it. And that's very important. Very important. So let me show you some products that you guys can try if you're going to embark on this journey. Also, join our Discord community. Follow us on every platform. I am Warrior Gamasuit. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you for this. You got it, Sandra. Mine did when I cooked just the veggies and rice. You're absolutely right. Hops. Yes, hops. Alcohol has high levels of metal. Really? I didn't even know that. Okay, so let me show you some products. Now, guys, I'm going to show you some products. Now, just because they're gluten-free, I want you to know something. You have to get a notebook. I'm telling you, this is how you do it, okay? You're going to get a notebook. If you're embarking on a gluten-free journey, because this is how you're going to find out. You're going to be like, okay, today I'm trying gluten-free Barilla. And then try it. And then you write down 1 hour later, how am I feeling? How do I feel? You got to do that. Because these products are made with other grains. Like me, I can't have brown rice. I can't have sorghum. I can't have millet because they make me tired. So that's why I say when you try something, write it down. Yes, boy? Let me let my dog out. I'll be right back. You know what I said, baby? He lives in the living room. All 3 dogs are outside. And that's one thing I discovered, guys. I can't have oats, brown rice, or even if the label has rice. Like I had char bread the other day. It had rice as an ingredient, and I thought I could manage it, but I just can't do char bread sometimes. You know, char. I just can't. Some of the ingredients on these things are still going to make you tired. Do you understand that? If it makes you tired, stop eating it. That's how you do it. Now, one more thing too. Here's one more thing. We were talking about the labels, and if you see a questionable ingredient like dextrose, and there's only one dextrose there, you can call the manufacturer. You can email the manufacturer and say, hey, is your dextrose derived from wheat? You can ask that manufacturer if you really have your heart set on that product. You can email them. And if they don't call you back, You must assume. You must assume it has wheat. Because if you don't assume it has wheat based, you're going to get sick. Don't do that to yourself. Because I used to do that to myself. And I'd be, you know what I discovered? I discovered because I was like, I got to find out how long it's going to take me to heal. I discovered it takes me anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks to heal. 12 fucking weeks. 12. 12. To be fully recovered from the time I got sick. Like, fuck that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, y'all. And if you have to be diligent every day, I'm telling you guys, stop being tired. Because you guys are slacking. You guys are yawning and burping because you're not being diligent. You're going to be, it's amazing to feel this way. Amazing. You're going to have more energy. I promise you. You're having trouble with sugar cravings? Organize your shelves. There's even makeup products. Oh yeah, guys. That's right, guys. I forgot to mention one of the biggest things. Gluten is not just found in food. It's found in non-food items. Ladies, it's in your lipstick. It's in your makeup. Guys, it's in medicine. It's in freaking gummies, vitamins. You can get all gluten-free alternatives too, though. Guys, ladies, it's also in some condoms that have like gels because they might have trace amounts of gluten. It's in like takeout packaging, I've heard. It's just like, guys, you guys would be shocked at all the places. It's in your toothpaste. It's in your deodorant, your shampoo, your lotion. So if you're going gluten-free means gluten no longer touches your body or enters your body. It's kind of crazy, but yeah. You can do it, guys. You can do it. Now, people always ask me what I use for my body. I make my own toothpaste. And I use olive oil soaps with like charcoal, or I use coconut soaps for my hair and my skin. That's what I use. That's how I keep my body clean. I don't do any products because I heard that one thing I started doing was like shampoos. I heard that a lot of ladies were talking about how the shampoo stripped natural oils from your hair, and I was like, what? I'm like, I want to keep my natural oils, so I just stopped using shampoo. I stopped using shampoo 2017. Yeah, I was like, yeah. Wow, 6 years ago. So guys, that's it. Lisa, you know what? If you want your message, just type it in again because sometimes I can't go back, Lisa. What do you use? I wash my hair once a week. All right. Do a video on making them, please. Katie, I do have a video. I don't even know what hippie chicks have taught me. It's on the playlist, Katie. What hippie chicks have taught me. It's on my TikTok playlist, What Hippie Chicks Have Taught Me. And I also made a new one, too, with castor oil.
But using this filter can help raise money for...
Okay, so here we go. So let me see if it's here. Yeah, learn from hippie chicks. Learn from hippie chicks. And then you're going to see the toothpaste.
I decided to do a series on what hippie chicks have taught me. I lost 90 pounds, and on my...
Here it is.
Let's make toothpaste. On this episode of what hippie chicks have taught me, here's what we're going to need. Arm & Hammer baking powder. You guys fun. Let's make toothpaste. On this episode of what hippie chicks have taught me.
So it's the playlist, Hippie Chicks Have Taught Me. Learn. All right, so there we go. Let's talk about this. Let me show you some products now. This is going to be the last of our training session. We covered a lot. You can watch the replay on our Instagram and our Facebook. Same username, Beyond Food Market. Now, these products I'm going to show you, they're not, you guys may have issues with this. Like, look at this one. Look at this one. This one, it has mono and diglycerides. I don't know what mono and diglycerides are, but it sounds kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what they are, but maybe you don't want some. And I know a lot of people don't like having the gums. A lot of people don't having the what's that called? The thickening agent. Oh well. But my point is, be aware of the products. Oh, one more thing, guys. One more thing too. Check this out. I want to show you something. If you look at this right here, see that? It says gluten-free. Gluten-free. It says gluten-free. Now it says gluten-free, but let me read you some of the ingredients. Oat grass. Barley grass. Wheat grass. How the fuck are you going to put wheat and barley in the fucking product and call it gluten-free? How? I remember because I saw it as a gluten-free. This is one of my favorite companies. Sun Food, one of my favorite companies. Organic super greens with protein. I was like, I'm in fucking heaven. Of course this company's awesome. And I remember taking a scoop. I remember drinking. I was riding my bicycle and I was like, what the fuck? I feel like I'm going to pass out on my bike. And then one day I decided to read the ingredients and I was like, what the fuck? How are you putting wheat in here? Anyway. So, right. How about lemongrass? Lemongrass is good. It's just the wheat stuff. How's your sleep schedule? It's decent. It's decent. Sleep schedule is decent. I get about 6 hours of sleep a night, 6 to 7. What shampoo do you use? I just use natural soaps from like the store, like like the homemade soaps that people make, like olive oil and coconut oil and charcoal and peppermint and mint. Those are the kind I use, and coconut oil. Let me show you the one that I like using for my hair. You know what? I don't even know where it is. Here it is. This is my favorite one for my hair. I just really like this. Now I don't wash my hair that often, a couple times a week, a few times a week. Kirk's since 1893. I keep it nice and simple, guys. Nice and simple. Love that soap. Is that new phone you're using? Yes, it is a new phone we're using. How does it look with the new phone, guys? Love the smell of that. Yeah. All right, so let's show you some products. This is the last thing we're showing you today. We talked about a lot. You can watch the replay. Okay, here's some Barilla. Now, guys, if you are going to get Barilla, I encourage you to get the brown label. Get the brown label. Get this label. They have two packaging. One blue, one, I don't know what you call it, paper. I don't know. I encourage this one, but if you can't get it, go ahead with this one. Hey, Miss Daphne, let me show you my puppy. This is my puppy. She's about 5 months old. Ow, ow, baby, ow, ow, ow. Look at her. Ow, she's biting. Ow, ow, baby, ow, ow. Why are you biting me, baby? Ow, 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 ow. She's a feisty girl. She's super feisty. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. Who's my baby girl? Where's my baby girl? Where's my baby girl? And then we got Mr. Apollo is my other dog. Alright, let me finish this training, guys. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Ooh. Alright, guys. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, here is another brand. All right, I'm almost done, baby boy. Simple Mills. Simple Mills is good. I like that brand. I also like this brand. Ancient Harvest. If you really like oats, try quinoa flakes. Try polenta or try amaranth. And guys, this is your opportunity to try different new things. This is hearts of palm pasta. Pasta made from hearts of palm. Also, you can get some gluten-free vegan cereal. This is one of my favorite brands. Forager. If you want some vegan butter, give this a go. This is another one of my favorite brands. Enjoy Life. They're gluten-free and vegan. Free from the top 14 allergens. This is one of my favorite companies. When I see this company, I think there's only one product that I really didn't try. I think because it had it had rice syrup. That's why I didn't have it. This is a good one. Also, here's some more chickpea pasta. This is made just from chickpeas. And these are the ingredients. This is called chickpeas, chickpea starch, tapioca, and xanthan gum. Some people don't like the xanthan gum. Give it a shot. You know. Again, guys, here's what I say. If you try something and you have an adverse reaction, just don't consume it anymore. Let me show you that. See this? See that big ass red gluten-free? Well, I bought it. It wasn't gluten-free because I got sick. And I tried it twice just to make sure. I'm like, let me try it again. Got sick twice. So look at the back. The ingredients are rice flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, xanthan gum, and salt. Now the rice flour, I think it's the rice flour for me. I think I can do white rice, but rice flour, are they using brown rice? I don't know. So keep that in mind when you try gluten-free products. How do you feel after you eat them? It's that simple. If it makes you sick, it's out of the roster. Out of the roster. Like I'm never eating this again. Never. Oh guys, one more thing too. One last thing. When you go out there and about, look at that. New recipe. They now have oats in it. So if you have an issue with oats, or we know about the contamination factor of oats, you may not want to have this. You may try it. Tell me how you feel. Because I know a lot of people that have issues with this. This is my favorite product. Hemp, yeah. Hemp, yeah. I love these guys. If you want some gluten-free, non-GMO, good stuff, grain-free. This is grain-free, guys. Look for grain-free stuff. If you're going gluten-free, look for grain-free. Grain-free is so good. Because it eliminates all the grains. There's this company called Siete. Now, these almond tortillas from their company, not too good. But the company, they've got a lot of great products. As a matter of fact, their father had an issue with gluten, and he went grain-free. Went grain-free, changed his life, and now they started a company based on grain-free because of their father. It's called Siete. Have you tried Chipotle bitchin' sauce? I have not. Flip the camera. Okay, here we go. So keep that in mind, guys. You can try some cake mix. Now, let me read this ingredient list to you. It has cane sugar, sorghum flour. I can't have sorghum flour. Rice flour. Can't have rice flour. So guys, when you're out and about and it has gluten-free, I want you to just also take note of the other ingredients in there. Because what you're going to start developing, this is how you start training your body. You're going to be like, oh wait, I had that one last time I had sorghum and I felt tired, or it made me feel sick. And then this product had sorghum. I felt sick. Okay, sorghum out of my diet. Or you can try it. You can try it a few more times. Like when I first was going gluten free, I'd be like, did that make me sick? I'm like, let me try it again. I'm like, I think that made me sick. Let me try it again. You know what? I think that was. I'm gonna make sure. So I try it again. Like, you know what? Let me try one last time to make sure. And then I'd be like, all right, no more. Done. Now, this lady right here, this is a lady-owned company. If you want to support a woman-owned, her company's called Chickapea. Chicka, a play on chickpea. Chickapea. This, out of all the companies, has the highest protein. If you're into protein, this has the highest protein content because they're using red lentils also. Again, woman-owned. It's good. It's good. It's good. Ancient Harvest. If you're trying to replace your oats, try this. This is really good. Also, guys, if you're a meat eater, they also have gluten in meat. I used to have to get the Jenny O gluten-free turkey, and I got this for my dogs. This is grain-free. Grain-free. So I couldn't ask them if they felt any adverse reaction to this. They seem to be okay. Grain-free, I like grain-free, but also keep in mind, guys, this one had, the one thing that was kind of iffy for me on this one was, I think, what was it? Dextrose. Whenever I see dextrose, it just, you know. And also, guys, citric acid gives me an issue, so I try not to eat citric acid too much. As a matter of fact, I try to eliminate all those weird things. Yeah, so there we go. Oh, this is good. I got this at Sam's Club. This is so good. It's called Joy Life Foods. Humankind. This is one of my favorite brands. Look at this. You can make it gluten-free and vegan. Already done. I like this. These are so yummy. So good. So yeah, so that's going to be our live for today. I showed you a bunch of stuff. Again, guys, on your gluten-free journey, whenever you see the word grain, you have to step back. You have to step back. Whenever you see the word grain, you got to be like, let me look into it further. What kind of grain is it? Do you have an issue with sorghum? Do you have an issue with millet? I find some gluten products are high in fat, high in carbohydrates. Okay, so there you go, guys. Again, I'm just showing you some products you can try, but keep in mind all the iffy substances. Bitter sauce so good. Okay, once is enough for me. Sorry, left came back. What I missed? What up, chef? We're just doing a gluten-free train. You can watch replay on our Instagram. You're a genius. So, guys, that is it. That's gonna help you go gluten-free in America. Follow us on every platform at Beyond Food Market. Follow my Instagram. I post all the food there. And my mission is to help you guys go gluten-free because it's very tricky out there. Trace amounts everywhere, not just in food. It's in your makeup, ladies, in your lipstick, in your denture cream. I'm telling you, Google everything that touches your body and find three or four reputable websites that say, yes, this is gluten-free. It's known to be okay. And guys, one thing I just discovered, I just commented on this. Somebody they had a pizza and it had wheat starch. The product had wheat starch. They said the wheat starch is gluten-free because why? They processed it. They scrub it. They clean it. And then they minimize the gluten. They take some of the gluten out and they bring it down. But I want you to know something. You only bring it down. You didn't eliminate it. It's not eliminated. So what does that mean? That means if you are very sensitive to gluten and you have that wheat starch that's been purified and clean, you're going to get fucking sick. And that's a promise. Because there's still wheat in there. You're going to get sick. What? Why do they do that? Why do they do that? Why would you put wheat starch in a gluten-free product and say it's safe for guys? If you think that's safe for celiac, I've been gluten-free for over a decade, guys. If you think that wheat starch is safe for somebody who has celiac disease, I hear people talking about all the time, like, oh, it's okay for celiac. Oh, it's, bro, listen carefully. I'll repeat this one time for the people in the back. If you are known celiac disease, you shouldn't have zero gluten. Zero, no trace amount. No, it's typically safe for, no. Don't do it. And you know the people that eat that stuff, the people that are like, "Oh, I'm fine, bro." You're not fine. Don't come to me. I've been gluten-free for over a decade. You're not fine. You're not. And if you are, guess what? You're asymptomatic and you're damaging the inside of your body. Celiac here. I went fully grain-free. Yeah, there you go, guys. Remember, if you have an issue with gluten, you may have an issue with all grains, even pseudo grains like millet. Keep that in mind, or sorghum. So guys, that's going to be our live for today. You can watch the replay on our Instagram and our Facebook. Where do you recommend beginners start? Christina Garza, I recommend you join our Discord community. Read the How to Go Gluten-Free ebook. And just, yeah. I'm actually going to be posting a quick start guide to gluten-free this week. I was supposed to do it this week, but I didn't. But I will get it. It's going to be a quick start guide on how to go gluten-free. But basically, Christine, if you want to embark on a gluten-free journey, you must Google everything that touches your body. Touches your body. Touch it. If it's going to touch your body, you got to Google it. Or if it goes inside. And this is how you Google it. You're going to be like this. Hey, Google, does this product contain...
I don't understand.
My whole thing went off. And then you're going to Google it and you're going to check everything. And you're going to find 3 or 4 reputable websites that say, yes, it's fine. Remember, the first result, don't believe it. Do not believe the first result, guys. Do not believe the first result. Don't believe it. You know how many times I checked if it's gluten-free? Like, yeah, first result, yeah, it's gluten-free. And then I dig in and it's like, no, it's not. I'm like, what the? Don't believe the first result. So, guys, that's going to be in America. We did not put in... That's the hungry... What? Hungry Games. You're also vegan, right? Yes, right. I'm vegan and gluten-free. And I'm 51. Thank you for all your education. Have a great weekend. You guys have a great weekend too, guys. We'll see you. You can watch the replay on our Instagram. Love you guys. Thanks for following us every platform. Follow my Instagram threads and all platforms. If you're on a platform, I'm on that platform. Beyond Food Market. Have a great night, guys. You can watch it on our Facebook too. Later, Instagram. You guys rock. I'll see you soon. I'll see you tonight. You got it, Christine. Christine, DM me. I'll send you a shopping list. DM me with your email. I'll send you a shopping list, Christine. I'll also posting everything on our lives. On our link. Peace and love, guys. Facebook, Beyond Food Market. Every platform, Beyond Food Market, where I show you how to live a gluten-free vegan lifestyle. Let's go. And it's simple, guys. I try to keep it really simple because I'm a guy and I have self-diagnosed ADHD. So everything I put is basic, simple. I'll see you soon. Later, Jersey Girl. Good night. See you soon. See you tonight.